Welcome back to another edition of The Burnout with yours truly, the Night Train. And today, this is kind of a special edition. It's something very important to me and some more people that I want to discuss today. And before we get started, I always do a inspirational quote. And the quote of the day is, "Never allow a person to put a value on you because they're always going to undervalue you." So no matter what they say, don't never allow them to dictate the terms of your life. I'm going to dive right in this. It's been come to my attention that some nursing homes, hospitals, and lawyers, and let's just be frank, they all work hand in hand. If the nursing home mistreats a patient, which there's a lot of that's going around, nursing home mistreating people they're in there, and a lot of times they mistreat them because the family doesn't go up there or they just can't get up there, and they know this, so they don't take care of them. And I'm gonna give you a personal story of mine. My brother was he broke a bone in his neck, and he went to the hospital, one in Montgomery, and he went to a rehab place to get strong enough so he can, possibility of him being able to walk again. And once they get through with that, they send him to the nursing home to continue his therapy. Well, this particular nursing home did not take care of him. And what happened is he became septic, which means blood poisoning. So if he had any underlying condition, that just amplified it and made it 10 times worse. And eventually he succumbed to that mistreatment. And you know what? The thing about it is the lawyers, hospitals, they all work hand in hand, because when you around an area and you try to get some kind of vindication of the person that just passed away because they were mistreated. So you can't bring them back, but you can try to make sure this doesn't happen to anybody else. And we had 3 lawyers, every one of them, even though they had a case, and I know they had a case, they would not take it because they were linked to the hospital and the nursing home. And this particular nursing home is garbage. I'm just going to tell you up front, they're garbage. But it's mighty funny that even though they had all the proof they never got the records from the nursing home, but wouldn't take the case because it was some affiliation with that nursing home that these lawyers had, or they had affiliation with the hospital that he was at that they had, and they just chose not to do it. You know, and if that's what you're going to do, then you should turn your law license in. If you're not going to help those who have been mistreated, if you're not going to help those that have passed away because of neglect, and it's obviously the neglect, then you shouldn't even be a lawyer. And then you want to worry about, well, he had this underlying condition, she had this underlying condition. But the point is, what elevated it? Because my brother was talking, he was on the phone, he was doing good when he was in there. And then all of a sudden they quit taking care of him and he just wouldn't talk no more. I was the last one that he communicated with before he passed away. And it's funny that the lawyers that I had, they all said the same thing. Well, we couldn't prove this. You know, that's bull. They could have, and I think, now this is just my opinion alone, I think they were paid off. And I'm gonna be honest with you, my mother thinks the same way. My sisters think the same way. I think they were bought off because they feel like they got guaranteed money here, and they don't think they could win, or they know somebody who's there and they just won't do it. That's all to it. And the sad thing about it, you can't go out of state and get one because they have to be licensed in Alabama or in Georgia to be able to take the case. And it's a shame, because I just think, heart of hearts, that if it were one of their family members, they would not hesitate to pursue it to the very end. But since it's not one of their family members, and let's just be frank about it, they can say what they want. If it ain't one of their family members, they really don't give a dog. They don't care. They're not going to put forth maximum effort. That's why they're so quick to say we can't take it, because they're not the one that's affected. And I'm willing to bet you dimes to donuts, if it was one of their sisters, brothers, cousins, kids, or whatever the situation is, I bet you they would not be that hesitant to say we're not going to take it. They're going to take it. They're going to fight tooth and nail until the end, so they can get some kind of the word I'm looking for is you just want some kind of I don't want to say payback, but you want the people who were supposed to be hired to do this job, you want them to face some kind of consequences. And the sad thing about this is they so far, all these people are around this area, so they don't want to go against nobody. They don't want to go against their friends or cousins, whoever work at these places. So they willing just to say, you know what, we just not going to take it. And then they give you some kind of bogus excuse, some kind of BS that doesn't add up to anything, but this is what they'll do. And try to justify it. With me, once you say we can't take it, you keep your explanation. I could care less about what your explanation is, because your explanation doesn't mean anything at this point in time. Your explanation is garbage. Because I'm willing to think hard of hearts that if it was one of your family members, you would have took it. And you would have tried, and you would have found that nursing home was responsible for what happened. Not all nursing homes do this. Some nursing homes actually take care of their patients. They take care of them really well, and they care about them. This particular one did not care. I'm just going to tell you up front. They did not care. And the reason they keep getting away with it is because those lawyers, like the ones we tried to get, are too scared to try to do any legal action against them. And I'm not sure they're scared. I just think they've been paid off. I could be wrong, but I seriously doubt it. I just think they bought off. And if you're a bought off lawyer, then quit. Just don't even use your law degree, because it's meaningless. If you're not going to help those that need help, then why even bother even entertaining? Just find you another line of work to get in. Because with me, you don't walk into a nursing home being septic. You don't walk in with blood poison. My mom was a nurse for almost 16 years, a nurse's aide, and she told me a paralytic person has to be turned over every 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but she knows the numbers better than me because she did it. And to be septic, if you're septic, that means it's basically bed sores. You were not turned. And then you gonna say, you try to make it look like that all the rest of the underlying condition are the cause. No, it ain't. He had those underlying conditions before he went there. What amplified it? Because you didn't do your job. He became septic, which is blood poison, and none of these coward lawyers wants to do anything about it because they're buddies or they just paid off. It's one of the two things. You're buddies or you're bought off. And it's sad because you're not here to help the people. You're here to help yourself. That's the thing I don't get. That's the thing I don't quite understand. Is you advertise all this stuff on TV, but if it's a trucking company, you want to break your neck because you're an ambulance chaser. You want to go and get that one because you feel like a trucking company, all big bucks, is an easy win. That's the only thing you do on that. You don't want to do the work when work is required. And that's the most disturbing thing of the whole thing, is there's a lot of people out there. A lot of people out here who's dealt with the same thing, have dealt with it or are dealing with it now. The reason the nursing homes keep getting away with it is because we don't have lawyers that have backbones that's willing to go after them, that won't be bought off, that won't be brushed off. That's the reason they keep getting away with it. Because there's nobody's doing anything against them. And the sad thing about it is some of these nursing homes should be shut down. And I guarantee you, if they subpoena their records, there's a lot of people that have dealt with the same fate my brother has, but nobody's willing to do anything about it. You know what they'll do? They'll change their name, they'll change this, they'll change that, but they're still the same people. They're still responsible, but there's no response. There's nothing or nobody's holding them responsible. So they can just keep doing this over and over and over again. That's the shame and disgrace that this society will allow an organization or a business to run when you know how they are, but you allow them to do it anyway, and nobody does anything about it because everybody's so scared of their own shadow that they won't do anything about it. It ain't that they can't, they won't do anything about it. And those people are pitiful. And trust me, sooner or later, the ball gonna bounce in your court and you're gonna deal with the same fate. And I hope that you have to deal with the same rejection that everybody else that you supposed to have been fighting against had to deal with from you. You sooner or later it's gonna boomerang, you're gonna deal with the exact same thing. It's just, to me, if you should be able to hire a lawyer from any state, but they only let you hire them that's licensed in Alabama, or licensed in Georgia, or licensed in Florida, or licensed in Mississippi. Well, the ones in Mississippi are not going to go against them because they all tied together. So of course they're not going to go against them unless it's something egregious and they just know they can't they don't have any choice. But if they have a choice, they're going to back out of it because 90% of them are cowards. I don't care if they don't like what I said or not. They're cowards. You got your law degree for what? But I hear all these commercials. If you've been injured in this, you've been injured in that. If the nursing home abuse this, y'all don't even put forth effort. Unless it's somebody that's an establishment or business that you are not affiliated with, or one of your relatives have been mistreated, then you will push the envelope. But until then, you won't move because you're too big of a coward. Or like I say, I'm gonna keep saying it, you're a coward and you're bought off. That's all I can tell you. And some of these lawyers don't even get the medical records from the nursing home. So I don't really understand, if you don't get the medical record from the nursing home, how can you say, well, I will or will not take the case based on what? Did you call them? Did they tell you something? Did they offer you something to drop it? And you know what? Like I said, I could be wrong. This is my opinion and my opinion alone. But I just think they paid off. I just think they think they benefit more from not taking the case than taking it and putting their friends in harm's way or putting their associates in harm's way. That's why I think you should be able to get a lawyer out of state that's not affiliated with them, that doesn't care about who works there. They just care about doing the individuals done wrong, and they should pay. That's the only thing they care about. Them the kind of lawyers we need. We don't need these bootleg lawyers running around here that they got practices that they only take certain cases as long as their friends don't work there. I'm only saying what a lot of people want to say. And they just don't have a platform to say it, but we have the platform to say it, and we're going to say it. Because right is right and wrong is wrong. That's just the bottom line. I guess they want a case where it's fell in their lap and the person said, yeah, we guilty, we are dead, how much do you want to settle out? That's nothing like that, but I think that's what they want. And it's a doggone shame that's how they operate their business. But it's even worse that these people that's somebody that need to come around these nursing homes every day and check on the patients, ask the patients how they're being treated. Are they being turned this way? Are they being fed properly? And find out what they're saying instead of just putting it in a supervisor's hand, which are probably just as crooked as the employees that work there. Like I'm saying, I'm only saying what everybody else wants to say or thinking. There's too much of this. These people put their family members in your trust to make sure that you will take care of them, And you come to find out it's all about money. You only care about the money. You don't care about the patient. And I know this is no new condition. I know this has been going on for years and years. It needs to stop. These nursing homes need to be monitored on a consistent basis. I think cameras need to be in every single room to see if the people who are getting paid to watch them are actually doing the job they're getting paid to do. If you're short-staffed, then you need to tell the family before they move their family member there that you can't handle it and try to look for another location instead of you bringing them in just for dollars and then not taking care of them. You know, our job as a group, as an organization, we want to put a stop to stuff like this because that's no cause for that. There's no reason that anybody should get mistreated or neglected in a nursing home or hospital. It makes no difference where. And I think if they put cameras in these places and monitor them, then I think some of this stuff will be cut off. If they bring people in there every week to talk to the patient to see how they're being treated, some of this stuff could be avoided. And I just really think that if they would have took care of my brother like they were supposed to, he would still be here. There's no doubt in my mind. You can tell me he had this, it was uncontrolled. That's a lie. The first lawyer told me that lie. I didn't buy into that. He tried to give me all this mumbo jumbo, and then he got the nerve to say, if you ever need us, what would I ever need you for again? Why would I need you? What did you do that would warrant me needing you? I would never call back on you again, ever. As long as I live, I wouldn't call you to do anything for me. Because you showed me the only thing you care about is you. You don't give a dog about nobody else. So that's just something nice. That's just something they say that's scripted, that's generic. If you ever need us, call me. You didn't do anything this time. So what exactly would I need you for? I really don't want. You know, a wrongful death suit is when somebody, if you pass away and you wrongfully harmed, killed, or whatever the situation is, that could have been avoided. It's wrong, and it's a wrongful death suit should be filed. But like I say, some of these lawyers, they perpetrate like they're doing so much, they're not doing anything. And it's not all lawyers. Don't get me wrong. You got some good lawyers who will go to fight with you. I'm just going by my experience. The three that I've seen, they are not, to me, they're not any good. And nobody's going to convince me otherwise. And I'm sure there are some good lawyers out there. And I take my hat off to y'all because y'all actually care about your client and you actually going to fight tooth and nail just like they're your family members. But like I said, the three I had, then I wouldn't advise them. If anybody walk up to me and ask me about such and such, I would advise them to go somewhere else. I would not give them no kind of recommendation. Because why would I send you to them and you got the same situation, they couldn't do anything for me, you're just going to get the same thing. So why even waste your time going in that direction? You know? And it really bothers me how these people sleep at night. I really don't understand how you can sleep knowing that you didn't do everything for your client that you should have. And it's a shame because it ain't no white and black thing. It's a green thing. Man, that's what all it's about. We done seen it on TV, and sometimes TV is reality. We done seen nursing home on TV slide money to the lawyer so they could drop the case. We done seen hospitals do it to escape liability. And the hospital, when he went in there and he was real sick because of being septic, the gentleman told me the reason that he's in this condition because he was septic. Well, guess why he's septic? Because the nursing home did not turn him like they supposed to. And he got bed sores. See, this is the thing that really should aggravate everybody, not just me. Anybody who's ever had somebody in a hospital, in a nursing home that's been mistreated, that passed away because of neglect, you should be up in arms in this. But you know what? They make it where you keep getting turned down and you just give up on it and just say, you know what, it is what it is. And then they just get a chance to do it to the next person, do it to the next person. Well, guess what? We're not going to turn the head because we're going to keep going through, keep fighting. Because they know that was wrong, period. And I wish we could go out of state and get a lawyer, because the out of state lawyers are not easily persuaded to back down like these in-state lawyers are. And people don't be fooled when they try to sell you this thing that we really understand and care about no, you don't understand or you don't care. Because you know what? If it was your son, would you have dropped it? If it's your brother, would you have dropped it? And the answer is no. It's an emphatic no. They know it and I know it. Just a shame that they sleep. I really don't understand how they sleep at night. I don't see how they conscious allow them to sleep. But you get paid a lot, so you can care less about everybody else. It's all about what you can do and what you can get. So I kind of understand it. But everybody, like I said, is what they tell me, you reap what you sow. Sooner or later, what you do to others will boomerang and it's going to come back to you at some point. But we got this platform and we're going to use it. And that's just how it is. And there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Nobody should ever like anybody being mistreated. And you shouldn't accept nobody being sick and passing away because of neglect. And you cannot lay down and allow this to continue. Because the only thing, and I always tell them, I can't help him, but we can help everybody else so they don't fall to the subjected to the same neglect that he did. That's why I say, hey, if you got somebody in the nursing home, every week, once or twice a week, go by there and see how they're doing. See how they're being treated. The more they see you, the more likely they're going to do what they're supposed to. The less they see you, they're not going to do anything. And we was in a bind because it was in the pandemic and we couldn't go in. So there's nothing we could do. By the time we could, the damage was done at that point. But hey, we're going to keep doing it on our thing. We're going to keep promoting this on Spotify with the Emerald Princess and the Night Train. We're going to do this on TikTok. We're going to do this on YouTube. We're going to do this on Facebook. We're going to do this on Instagram. We're going to do it on every social media site there is, because this cannot continue and it will not continue. As I was always told, you stand for something or you fall for anything. Hey, but that's all I got for the special edition of the Burnout. We're going to see you again next week. And remember, always flame up, but don't never burn out. 2 fingers, peace.